This character can live through lots of stupid mistakes. Challenge accepted. I don't think you wanna know just how much I'm gonna be pushing that to the nth degree here. We'll see what kind of trouble we get ourselves into. But do not try and catch them all. They're not Pokemon. See in there, you're cutting me off at the pass. You knew exactly what I was going for. It was about to get real terrifying up in here, but that sounds good. We'll do our best to find the sweet spot in the middle. We want it to be entertaining and fun, but we do want to stay alive. That is the whole goal after all. And hey Brain, thank you so much for the raid. I appreciate it. How the heck are all of you lovely people? If you don't know me, I'm Torinski. Usually spend half of our time, our Sundays, playing this lovely gem, Dungeon Crawl Stone Soup, and on Wednesdays we play whatever we're kind of feeling. Lately it's been some Tunic. But definitely, if you're new to DCSS, let me know any questions you have. Always happy to explain things or talk things over. And regardless, I hope that everyone is having a fantastic Sunday, a great long weekend here. Guess Easter Monday tomorrow as well. It's definitely been a relaxing one for me, and that's something that I very much appreciate. Hey Prince, joining on the raid. Nice to see you as always. Of course, you definitely qualify for the hope you are having a great weekend here. And thank you, Brain, so much for the 10 months. Managing to cinch in your spot as the very first subscriber that we've had here and holding it down. So thank you so much for the continued support. I really appreciate it, Brain. And thanks for the raid as well. What were you playing today? I'm curious. It's probably an ideal place to learn DCSS. You both learn lots of great things to do and also lots of great things to not do. I think you nailed it on the head with that one. A little bit more of column B sometimes. There are many, many things that as I'm doing it here, I'm saying, kids, don't do this at home. Okie dokie. Well, we just hit the rest of our skill training cap, so where do we wish to go now? We could just turn fighting back on in the background, max it out, get as much overall health points as we possibly can here. Another potential option is just to keep spreading it across our defensive skills, maybe a bit more evocations, though I'm hoping that our slimes don't gobble down a condenser vein or something like that before we manage to pick it up. At least we can train a little bit more in the background. That shouldn't be too bad. Same with fighting. We'll just bring it up to a 20 or something. And last but not least, a little bit more armor. Why the heck not? Nothing we desperately need right now. That's the nice thing about not playing on a spellcaster, is that the experience game is generally a little bit more open-ended and fluid. Looked back into the library of games already owned but haven't played much, and you were exploring Children of Morta, an action roguelike. Oh nice, I think I played a decent chunk of Children of Morta as well. I unlocked a few of the characters at least. Very fun game. I enjoyed it a lot, for sure. Rift Wizard is pretty sick if you like roguelikes and puzzles. Yeah, I've been watching, or I was watching a decent amount of Ninth play that when it was in their main rotation. Still might be, for all I know. I just don't get on Twitch as often as I would like. But it definitely has piqued my interest at the very least. Seems like a lot of fun. So we just might have to check it out at some point down the road, see how we fare. They've added online co-op to Children of Morta for 2 players. Ooh, haven't gotten to try that yet, but sounds like fun. That does sound really interesting. I mean, I'm trying to remember, what was the... There was a wizard game that's an action roguelike with like highly customizable spell options. Oh, why am I blanking on that game right now? But it was really fun for the multiplayer aspect. I got it on my Switch right after, or pretty quickly after getting one, and had a lot of fun with my brother. Wizard of Legend was it, Ramlama. Thank you so much for filling in that blank for me. I appreciate it. Yeah, no, enjoyed that one a lot as a co-op experience for sure. It was super fun. And you need to give The Ground Gives Way another go. You last played a couple years ago when it was new, and it looks like it's grown a lot. But yeah, I haven't heard of that one at all. The Ground Gives Way. I'll have to take a peek at it. That's the thing, I am horribly addicted to at least putting more games on my short list of like, this is something that I would like to play. Unfortunately, there's just never enough time in the world to get as much done as I would like, but still a fun little activity to do is just find good options for the future. I mean, who knows? Maybe when I'm rich and famous one day here, I'll have all the spare time I could possibly want, and I'll actually get around to playing all of these little gems here or there. And hey, Callie, how's it going? Hope you're having a great long weekend. So yes, the Deep Dwarf win we're gonna get. Oh, I'm sure we will. No problems whatsoever. It's not like we've come close to death multiple times or anything silly like that, so I'm sure it will go swimmingly. But in all honesty, let's not sandbag too much. It's probably somewhere in the middle. We have a lot at our disposal here. There's the broad axe we've been looking for. Did you guess what you're doing right now? Organizing your completed / upcoming lists, right? It's a constant struggle. There's always so much to do, so much to play, and all of it is, or so much of it at the very least, is fantastic. I mean, that's why it took me so long to start playing Tunic, because I was enjoying the heck out of Noita. But I really wanted to play Tunic, and I wanted to play it on stream as well, especially so that my partner could go back and watch the VODs of me playing through it. She was really interested in that. But oh, it's an ongoing process for sure. And there are too many gems, which is definitely a good complaint to have. Don't get me wrong. Did I just step into a random teleport trap? Here I am in the end of Elf. Oh geez. And we have the Shield of Gong. So we're about to make many friends. I'll tell you that much for free. Let's pick up some stuff while we're here. Just scramble. Oh, the Singing Sword. Oh my gosh, I kind of wish that I wasn't on such a heavy axe user, because that is a weapon. Singing Sword and Shield of Gong combo. Oh my gosh, I just realized they're both in one spot here. I probably will resist the temptation for now, because I am really enjoying the axes. And sometimes you just need your dwarf to fall into some racial stereotypes and use an axe. But it's tempting. It's something that we've talked about before during this series, that if you can get the combo of Singing Sword and Shield of Gong, and it's just the pure, please, ladies and gentlemen, make some noise build, and it's super fun. Tall Blades could have some neat axes, for sure. Yeah, we did find the broad axe in the shop, but it could definitely be a reasonable plan to go back, double check, see if we can't get some that are already pre-enchanted a bit, maybe even have a decent brand on them. Keep it in mind. And we do get a Phantom Mirror, so some of that evocation training is paying off. Guessing we won't use this because the hand axe is a little bit overshot by this stage, but still nice to see. Still fun to look at. You just killed off character with a fully enchanted Wyrmbane, Shatter and Firestorm fully online. It's never too late to kill off a promising run. Ain't that just the truth of the matter? As much as I hate to admit it, that's definitely the correct outlook to have in this game. Never know what you're gonna face. Okay, don't mutate me too much, please, Nikoksek. I'd like to kill your master. Perfect. Not too bad. Nice swap if I need -8 gear to hit 0 intelligence. You're not wrong. If I want to go brainless, we got the tools at our disposal. We have the technology. We can rebuild me. Okay, let's take our new glaive friend back a couple steps. So I was originally actually planning on just teleporting out of here. Now I'm not so sure what I would like to do. I also should have taken a step forward and made sure we're using this one wide hallway to the fullest extent. Might just have to be happy with this for now. And the Deep Elf Blade Master is going to be a pain. That evasion. So, do we wish to continue fighting? Or do I want to cut my losses? Because again, the plan was to potentially just loot up, teleport the heck out of here. It's that easy. But I'm tempted to push it just a little bit further as we completely disarm the Blade Master here. Love to see it. That makes things a little bit more tenable, or at least potentially makes things a bit more tenable. I don't like this. We're in sightline of 2 Annihilators. 2 Iron Shots or 2 Crystal Spears at the same time is gonna hurt. Also, thank you so much, Callie, because you're right. Should use my Jivia stuff. Oozamancy is going to do a heck of a lot of work here. Making sure we're taking down some of these further targets. I'm hoping that this Demonologist dies before this Hell Sentinel comes even close to making contact with us. Would be nice. We'll have to see. Maybe they're already dead, actually. No, there's another demon. There they are. Mutations are just flavor text for a Jivia worshipper. They get lost in the sea of Jivia mutations. You're not wrong. Definitely not wrong. And no, I did, miss Hall Blades. It was upstairs. So we may go back, unfortunately, by the time we kind of started rethinking it as a potential, we were already down here. So we're just going to have to live with our current setup, which should be good enough for the moment. So we tracked everyone over to our corner of death and destruction. Look at the buildup of materials. +3 Vampiric War Axe. Now that is very nice. Okay, do I want to give up Damnation? We're now using this shield, so it's super unlikely. It's between this or the Executioner's Axe, or both even, that we want to drop on the floor now. It's tough because you do have to commit as a Jivia follower. Fully commit to, I never want to see these items again. So I guess that's what we'll do. Chose the wrong time to fight elves. It's Oozer Sunday. You do love to see it. Good for us, bad for them. But since I am me, absolutely stellar. Fantastic stuff. It's Ooze Day, baby. Better than Elect against most enemies, for sure. Yeah. Just making sure between that and the Jivia regen, we should actually be in a pretty nice spot for staying alive. Staying alive. In fact, I think we will swap over there, and as we start to take a little bit of damage, let's add that to our healing pool here, shall we? I'm tempted to do some more Oozamancy real quick. It helps take care of a lot of these Demonologists before they become a problem. And that is my bag, baby, for sure. And right, thanks, Colgate. I always forget, Jivia does not eat artifacts, so the two-handed axe might get eaten. But at least the Arbalest Damnation will always be here as a potential outlet, if we so desire. Okay, who summoned you? Nice. You do love to see it. Just about taken care of. And you chose the wrong time to try and blink, my friend. Landing in the midst of our acid. Love it. Jivia regen feels like cheating on Deep Dwarf, honestly. So much so. I could not agree with you more. It's absolutely absurd. I mean, I'm gonna do it. Don't get me wrong. But I will happily acknowledge that it's a little bit on the cheesy side. Hold up. Let's head back. Come on. Slimes haven't had carte blanche yet. Oh, they have. Never mind. They're everywhere. Bloodstained crossbow, though. Now this one-handed crossbow, that could definitely work out. Well, you can tell which summoner called a particular minion? You can, yeah, with the X menu here. they'll get that little blue background circle around the summoner who actually summoned them. Super helpful when you need to, take care of that incredibly strong summon the easy way by just murdering the flimsy nerd that's sitting in the back line. Ooh, the whip snake bite? Oh, that's really fun. Again, I don't think it's for this character, but anytime you see any of these unrand arts, you gotta take a moment to appreciate. Super fun. You can get Curari hits off of it. Oh, I'm tempted to carry this around just to occasionally switch to 4 funsies. And I mean, we could maybe get away with it. We probably won't be using this axe too much anymore. We like our vampiric axe and electrical brands. So that's a nice little combo. Good wombo combo. And we know that won't get eaten. So that's the nice part. Let's pick it up. Again, might not end up using it at all, but it's kind of fun to hold on to for the moment here. And here's what I was hoping for. A few more shops. Ice Dragon Scales, not quite what we were looking for, but on the right track. Looking for Dragon Scales of a certain flavor for sure. Just keep burning our way through. You appreciate the rend arts more? They're more likely something that nobody has ever come across. That is true. You can get some pretty wacky combos. There are just certain unrand arts that I've never gotten that I really want to come across. One of which is Gimbal and Geyer, the double quick blade or the dual quick blade combo. Never seen before in a game. Or at least not that I remember. Hopefully I'm not making a liar out of myself. Never know, now that we have a bunch of runs on camera, it's a bit easier to tell. But regardless, there are a few of them that are just a lot of fun. And I have an appreciation for them specifically on never-ending characters. So a Demon Spawn character that I really enjoy that's kind of just going through ziggurats over time is on a quest to collect every unrand art in the game and have a display of them in their like layer 2 stash. So that's a lot of fun. But let's see, we get another round of mutations here. Lose our iridescent scales a bit. Feel clumsy. Oh no. Body becomes less viscous as well. Less controlled magic. Doesn't matter at all. And large bone plates grow out over places. Bone plates I think are pretty good. We can take a look at some of these. Yeah, unfortunately we're not quite so rubbery anymore, so we lose a little bit of defensiveness here. And large bone plates are extra shielding, so that will combo pretty nicely with our current setup here, up to 40 shields. You do love to see it. Works of Flaming, just leave that by the wayside for now. The very unique unrand arts on the right character can be so impactful for sure. And I think that's what I like about them is you can, get some rand arts that have cool amalgamations of effects, things that interact in fun ways, but there's so many of those unrand arts that do something that you will not see anywhere else in the game. And that's something that's a lot of fun at the very least. So the question becomes, do I want to go through the Hall of Blades? I mean, we can probably get away with it. We have decent weaponry now. The exception to that being that I still would like a nice broadaxe, of which is not currently coming to us. Double check that we don't have any distortion here. But let's hop our way in. Right, Vampiric Axe not doing a lot against all the flying weapons, but at the end of the day, unfortunately, neither would the electrical branded axe, so that's just one of those it is what it is type of situations. We'll just hopefully heal off the rest of these basic elves as we fight through. I actually don't know what's invisible above me. Must be an elven knight. I know they can turn themselves invisible, like that one down below just did. They are unfortunately also one of the things that does still scare us slightly, if just because they deal cold damage. Ooh, +4 Executioner's Axe of Draining. Interesting. As an example, Coley, you found an amulet with 2 pips fire resistance, cold vulnerability regen in +7. Definitely a nice find. Now I find that on a lot of spellcasters I end up using a few more rand arts just because you're very much hoping to be able to stack up all the intelligent buffs that you can. And okie dokie. Doesn't look like we're going to be getting much out of this. I'm tempted to just retreat. Running away is a long distance and we have a lot of fast things on our tail. So it's probably going to be read a teleport. Hope that we block most of this stuff and then we will just head out of here. I guess, was this where the weapon shop was? Let's take a look at our shopping list. It is on Elf 2. Interesting. So, take a peek at our downstairs here. Oh, right, there was a hidden downstairs that led up to this section. Interesting. In that case, we can still head up here. This is relatively safe, and then I believe that it's in this bottom shop that we were interested. Let's pop in here real quick. I think I will buy this broadaxe for the moment here. A couple wins ago, you had the gloves of you need these for Zot. 3 pips of fire resistance, 3 willpower. Oh my gosh, that's incredible. Yeah, that's completely worth the strength -4, especially if you're not on a character that even cares about strength. Amazing. That's a lot of fun. It's been a while since we had one of those kind of top tier god artifacts, but I'm holding out hope. Again, this run maybe doesn't deserve it. We've been very lucky already, but still would be nice, would it not? Let's plop up here real quick, see what's in this little vault. Just one little buddy hanging out alone. And we can just head back. I mean, most of these enemies are probably spread throughout the level now, so it might be a bit more manageable to handle them. I'm not too worried one way or another. We can head out. So there we go. That's Elf. Did get us definitely a few nice pieces of equipment that I'm very happy with. So the question then becomes, where do we want to go next? Do we want to actually go find that vault's entrance officially, or just start heading through depths? We can probably handle depths, though it's still a little sketchy. I'd like more armor class. One nice thing there is that as we make our way deeper through the main dungeon tiers, we can potentially find some gold dragon scales, something to that extent. Just to play it safe here, let's start by heading out to the dungeon. And we probably will go and explore the entrance here. Ah, right. Now I remember why we were kind of hesitant. It was just an annoying approach. But now we're in a pretty defensible position, so I think we'll be able to chunk our way through. You play back in 0.22 and you usually play whatever the current release is. Nice, yeah, it's been a little bit. There have been a lot of really nice changes since then, in my opinion. So I do think it's worth going back if you have the time, but of course, if you just enjoy watching, that's all cool too, and I definitely can get behind that. So I go through phases for sure where I feel a lot more like watching than I do playing. Vaults 1 to 4 are probably safer? Yeah, I think so. And I think that's the plan, Halt Catch Fire. I think we will do a quick branding on the broadaxe. I mean, if we get something like electric or vampiric, then we immediately have our hot swap in play. So let's even do that before heading down, shall we? We'll read this brand weapon, and on the broadaxe, please and thank you. Spectral broadaxe. Okay. I'm not a huge fan of the spectral brand. Don't get me wrong, it can be huge to have a secondary ally, even if just from a positional standpoint. The issue is that you can take more damage than you expect, since you do share some of the incoming damage with your spectral axe buddy. So we'll probably rebrand this, but we'll see. We'll see what the rest of the area holds here. So we head down into vaults, and right, slimes are friends. Oh, that's so funny. I didn't even think of other areas, or areas other than slime rather, where we might come with some allies. Awesome, I mean, I'll take it. Vampiric is important to counteract no regen conduct for DD. Maybe we weren't a Jivia follower, but definitely in general, usually the Vampiric War Axe would be a go-to end game weapon for us for sure. Having some kind of assurance that you'll be able to heal is absolutely huge. Though again, Jivia spoils us oh so much. Far too much. Okay, I'm expecting to take a lot more damage from these, but we're apparently just blocking everything with that incredible shielding score. I'll take it. Wonderful stuff. Well, let's go back. We will pick up these bolts just in case. In fact, speaking of which, you might want to start fitting this crossbow in, at least to kind of soften up enemies from beyond. That could work out. You've not played much with the Spectral brand. It's, yeah, super interesting. It's a bit of a different ball game for sure, but it can be really good as long as you're keeping in mind that you're going to be taking a little bit of extra damage at most given opportunities. So we just tab our way through the rest of these. Disarming them does incredible wonders for reducing the amount of damage that we're taking. Do love to see it. You played a bunch with Spectral as a spell and always found it super worth. Not had much time with the brand though. Yeah, see, I'm in the opposite boat, so I feel like I can't speak very well as to the comparison, and if it does kind of line up in that way. I wouldn't be surprised, though, if it's fairly similar. But no, a lot of people that I've talked to or come in through chat do swear by the brand and would absolutely love to see it. I normally really enjoy it on a polearm, of course, because getting that spectral weapon between you and an enemy that you can poke over, sure, you're taking a bit of damage, but it's reduced based or compared to what you'd be taking head on. So it's just a win in that situation, and absolutely incredible. I have a zillion flame wand charges, can spam them at distant nerds. You're not wrong. In fact, maybe let's just quiver that bad boy and throw it out there. Doesn't do a heck of a lot of damage, but it's definitely something. Oh look, another broad axe. How about that? When it rains, it pours. We can find a branded one. That would definitely be nice. We'll continue to mostly tab our way through all this stuff, fortunately. It's actually going surprisingly well. I expected to have a few more issues with the whole staying alive thing. Like again, when we were surrounded by the dire elephants, I thought that I was kind of playing stupidly by just tabbing into them, and then everything just kind of worked out. So again, not complaining, DCSS. If you want to keep lobbing me those softballs and I can just out of the park, I would love that. Sounds fantastic to me. Hello, friends. You miss the days when Kiari could stop the vault summoning dudes? See, I feel like when I played back in the day, I didn't even make it to vaults very often, so I was not actually aware of that mechanic. It's really only in my more recent return to the game that I started seeing any real measure of success. Though, to be fair to previous me, or past me, I did very much more so enjoy just having a silly time and doing really like flavor heavy characters, going into the roleplay, making sure that I had some wacky combo going on. But I don't know how much it would have helped me one way or another. I'm definitely a lot more consistent of a player these days than I was back then, regardless. Sure, I used to stop breathing, which interrupted spells and sizable targets. Oh, right. No, the good old days for sure, but very strong. I mean, fortunately, there's still a couple of good opportunities or good things to use here. One of my recent solutions to the problem of the Convokers is learning that Yara's Violent Unraveling. works on Convokers because that's a status effect. So that's a nice little move you can pull to kind of cheese your way out of those encounters in a fun way, for sure. On your Deep Dwarf run, you had a humble +4 Broadaxe to Flaming, and a Broadaxe of Holy Wrath for Undead, and a 4 pull for Fire Resistance. You had a few different Broadaxes. Nice. Definitely a nice little selection there. You have your problem solving all in place for if things start to get rough. I'm also now realizing that partially why I'm able to tab my way through all of this is due to that Vampiric Brand and just constantly keeping our health up. Interesting. Yeah, for sure. No, that if you're talking about the Yara thing, that's partially what has even furthered my opening of my mind to the possibilities of Yara, is that there are a lot of things that I don't think of as status effects, but definitely count as so for the game. So you can get some really cool triggers. And I mean, now with the more recent version, the fact that Yara's has become the reinstitution of the abjuration spell for players, absolutely incredible. And try to at least have it as a back burner option, something to think about on any caster that I play. Well, let's train a bit of crossbows. Why not? Don't know if we'll end up using our hand crossbow too much, but again, we don't have a lot to train for, so it's not a huge deal as we get another round of mutations. No longer feel strong-willed. Oh, that's a shame. Aw, shucks. Pseudopods become smaller, tentacles retract. Ooh. Body's more malleable and more viscous. Isn't that quite the combination? We're like that slime that all the kids were raging over a few years back. Okay, so we're mostly losing stuff. I'm still hoping that we can regain our genetic... What is it? Our genetic potential? Because I thought we had potential. I thought we were gonna be someone someday. Should probably swap over my axes for fighting all these undead. And in fact, we will for at least the end bit of the fight here, I think. No real harm in doing so. Fortunately, we still have our giant eyeballs, or eye stalks, confusing all of our enemies, so that is lovely. And swap back to our electrical axe to fight the undead once more, and keep her going here. You also had a vanilla broadaxe in case you found more brand weapon scrolls, but you didn't. Sounds like you had quite the kit in your back pocket just waiting. I think it was a pretty good collection of broadaxes for a 3-rune game under Jivia, for sure. And why do I not use my broadaxe? So right now I'm pretty happy, or more happy with the Vampiric Brand, just keeping us in a good spot. It's not a bad idea to swap to the broadaxe, and in fact, we're facing maybe more high AC enemies. It would be really nice to get that extra base damage potential. But as is, I'm mostly just not too worried about it, and sometimes you gotta dance with the one that brought you. Show some love and appreciation for the war axes here. And then by the time we get into the later stages of the game, don't you worry, we will be swapping over, hopefully, after another brand weapon scroll. That's the dream. 8 scrolls of fear to function? That's very likely not happening. That's quite the trove to enter. Unfortunately, too, because we said no to the trove on our ogre, because so many of them would have been useless. But on this character, could be quite nice. Oof. And that is some heavy damage. Probably should have started being concerned for the future a little bit sooner, as we take a heck of a hit. So the metal splinters could still come our way if we start running, but if they use it, they'll fall behind. So I'm going to take at least a couple of steps here, back towards the stairs. Fortunately, because these enemies are flying, they are quite quick on their feet. But I'd like to make it back to this one wide hallway. Hopefully the might runs out as well, which it did, and then we can fight through a bit more straightforwardly. There we go. We already started to fall under the illusion of the Shield of Gong, which is that we can take any fight, so why bother thinking through anything? When of course we should make sure that we're staying a little bit cautious as to how much attention we'll be drawing. And I definitely would like to just take you upstairs, since you're the one who mites everyone, right? Yeah, with Battle Cry. We don't want none of that. Not a fan. Is Brodex a min delay? I do believe so, because it's 18, right? Yes, and our skill is at 18. No, don't you worry, we will be swapping over relatively soon here. Crystal Guardian, bit of a rough encounter, but there we go. Able to just make sure that we're taking things one issue at a time. Fortunately, now we have resistance to electricity, so our dragon pal here isn't quite the issue that they once posed. Oh, but double vault wardens could be potentially a little bit of an issue. So, before we just keep tabbing away here, one gets worse against multiple enemies. Definitely something to keep in mind, but again, yeah, before it gets worse here, what can we potentially do to alleviate some issues? Could just Phantom Mirror something. Definitely Goo Up the Walls is a very good suggestion, and something that we should have thought of sooner. We could also use the Box of Summoning. I guess the only issue there is if we use any of these summoning techniques, Oozomancy becomes slightly less of an option. So let's go with the slime to start out. And don't think we have to worry about turning anyone into a slime quite yet. Instead, just let them slowly peter out in the corrosive effect. Confusing that one Vault Warden also doing a lot of good work for us. And now it's actually almost better that we got surrounded, because that's just more healing for our Vampiric Axe. And no real issues here whatsoever. We have good resistance to negative energy, so we should be alright against... Oh, what are these buddies called? The Soul Eater, of course. And instead we can just kind of tab our way through with no real issues. Love to see it. I don't know what's the invisible thing. I guess the one that was with us was a wizard? Maybe? Wouldn't it be nice if we had scrolls of enchant with him? Guess we'll never know. So no, unfortunately, Safed, we did end up reneging on that specific side of our self-imposed challenges. We did end up reading our ID scrolls. Gosh, agad. Against all of my usual playing strategies, the topmost, or one of the topmost at least, being never remembering to ID. Unfollowed, unsubscribed, reported. Honestly, just highly deserved. Like, what can I even say to that? I mean, you're just right. When you're right, you're right. Yes, strategies. Exactly. Very, very important. Very, very important well-meaning strategies. Ooh. +1 broad axe. How much do I not care about the spectral branch? I mean, amnesia we don't need anyway, so for now I can carry around a few broad axes. Maybe we'll end up going down a similar route to Colgate and having 3 different options we can hot swap between by the time we get to the late game. Wouldn't that be nice? Won't worry about it too much for now. And crossbows has hit level 10. How about that? I guess fighting can come back on. You can see that I'm not too concerned about the skills here. We can kind of put things wherever we so desire. You know what? We have really good aptitude in evocations. Why not crank that bad boy up? And dodging can come back on for a little while, round out our defenses just a wee bit. Though the gong always prevents us from getting to any appreciable amount of evasion. Slimy War Axe? Don't mind if I at least check you out. What have we got here? Not good. Not great, at least. Not bad either, if we're being completely and totally fair. Not what we're looking for. +1 War Axe of Disappointment, exactly. There will be better. We'll hold out hope for the future. Grass is always greener on the other side of the hill, right? people mean that literally when they say that. It's not meant to be a turn of phrase that implies that you should stop looking at things outside of your own scope in a more favorable light, right? That just doesn't make sense. I'm pretty sure they have something special in their water on the other side of the hill, and that's why their grass is so green. And I want me a piece of that. Another crystal guardian. Yep, and that's not the best start to our encounter, so let's just head back upstairs. Do I even want to fight you? Immune to all the usual elements, of course. I mean, here is an enemy with a pretty bonkers AC. So we could swap over to the Broad Axe to help chunk through that a little bit. Let's do it. We'll start with a Wand of Acid. We'll do another Wand of Acid, and there we go. Managed to do a decent amount of work there. And then the Spectral Axe can just finish off our lovely little friend. Perfect. Can't slime him, can we? We actually could have. Yeah. Corrosion does good work against the crystal guardians, fortunately. And another acquirement? Game you shouldn't have. So sweet. What do we wish to add on here? The helmet? Not so much. Cool icon, but that's about as far as it gets. The ring, on the other hand, would just replace our current resistance to fire. Give us another pip of willpower as well. MP plus 9, not going to help us out that much. I guess our god abilities cost magic? They do. But it's a pretty rough fight if we're going through all 15 of our magic points with these abilities. 3 full Slimifies, that means 3 extremely scary targets. Not ideal one way or another. Nice crystal bolts reduce hubris. This makes them more likely to survive. That's the plan. That's the goal here. But let's go for the ring. That's a nice little option for us here. And I think I will just replace our current resistance to fire. Actually, you know what? Ring of Shadows, you can go for now. We'll carry around just in case we want to double up on our fire resistance. For a specific unique or enemy, that'll work out nicely. Another one of you. Hello, friend. Do hurt a wee bit, but managed to make it through in one piece. At least this time it wasn't 2 war gargoyles being mited up. So that works out. All 15 for now, but we could need some poor man's heal potions in the future. That is true. Who knows how much our mana points will reduce by the end of the run. Okie dokie, there we have it. That's Vaults 3 done away with. We could keep going through Vaults 4. I mean, we're doing pretty well, and we did get a lot of the resistances that we came down here for, filling out a lot of the gaps, fortunately. So now I'm pretty comfortable for depths. Even our AC up to 27 now is pretty huge. And that's with our armor fitting poorly on our pseudopods. So if we happen to get rid of this in one of the next mutation bunches, we'll actually have really good defenses across the board. You know what, let's head down one more. We'll just take a quick peek, see if there's anything we want around. Hey Lynn, how's it going? Hope you're having a fantastic weekend and that things are well across the ocean. Guess across the ocean and a decent amount of land as well, to be fair. And also, thanks so much, Colgate, for the hydrate, because I've totally forgotten that I've had this beverage just sitting here this entire time. Definitely a good idea.